Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Beis Halevi and his explanation of Sinas Chinam. And we quoted several verses yesterday from Eicha, which speak about the sinful behavior of Klal Yisrael in the times of the first and the second Beis Hamikdash, how it had a very negative impact on the land of Eretz Yisrael itself. And now he's going to begin to explain. V'nei kol ha'averos, in all sins, yesh lahem zman heter. There's a time when it's actually permitted to sin. Now, let's just hold off for a second before we understand what that means. Which means that in a case of pikuach nefesh, when one's life is in danger, a person is allowed to transgress an avera in order to save their life. They become misrapoim, and so too when it comes to healing oneself. If a person is ill and they are sick, it's pikuach nefesh, they might die. And the only way in which they're going to be able to be healed is if they do some kind of a sin. They're going to be allowed to do that. For example, if the only medicine that's on the market to save a person from a particular disease that is life-threatening is coming from a non-kosher source, whatever, they have certain medications that are made out of shark fins and the like, and that's what a person needs in order to restore their health and to survive and to live. So the Torah tells us, I'd rather you eat the food that is not kosher today, so that you'll continue to live a very long life and continue to live a life of Torah and of mitzvahs and perform that which is right in the eyes of Hashem. So that's permissible. However, chutz me'avodas kachavim v'gilui rayos u'shfichas damim, except for three things. If it is a situation of life and death, and the only way that you can survive is by worshiping idols, by having illicit relations, or by murdering somebody else, in these cases over here, you must be killed and you're not allowed to transgress. Which means, and we explained this in previous classes, if somebody is holding a gun to your head, God forbid, and they say, bow down to the idol or I'm going to kill you, you have no choice, you have to bow down to the idol. They're holding a gun to your head and they say, have relations with this woman that it says in the Torah that you're not allowed to have relations with, or I'm going to kill you. You say, you have to take the bullet, there's nothing that you can do. If they say, kill this person, I'm going to kill you, you say, I don't have a right to say whose blood is redder and who deserves to live. You'll have to kill me instead. I cannot kill another person, another Jew. So in all of those three cases, you're obligated to give up your life. You're not allowed to transgress. V'im kain, if that's the case, shar averos, when it comes to the other sins, ein shema ma'etzem shel ha'maisa chet, that means that the word that is used to describe that sin is not itself inherently a sin, because really they're not a sin. Rak b'itztarch la'eza prat, unless it's combined with another detail. Like for example, when you're not in a situation of danger or coercion, God forbid, so then if you end up doing that particular act, you transgress the sin. But these three cardinal sins that we're describing over here, Shemam ha'etzem u'chet, the name that describes that sin is a sin in and of itself. They're always prohibited for a person to do. Ve'ein bahem tzad heter, there's never a tzad of permissibility in this thing. So says the Beis Halevi, I think he's saying a very deep idea over here, and that is that even though that the Torah calls certain things sins and other things are called mitzvahs, if something has a chance to be hanging, so to speak, in the air and not be considered sinful behavior, meaning that I'm allowed to eat the tray food if it means saving my life, or if somebody would be holding a gun to my head and say, keep Shabbos, otherwise I'm going to kill you. So a person then is obligated to be, a person says, be mechal, desecrate the Shabbos, I'm going to kill you. You're obligated to turn on that light and desecrate the Shabbos and not be killed. So he's saying that the sin itself is not by its very nature a sin, because there's always a way around it. On the other hand, again, of course, if you commit that sin when there is no coercion and there is no life and death situation, so then of course it is a sin. But when it comes to the big three, says the Beis Halevi, those by their very nature, there's no way around it. You can't find a way to be permitted to do it, and therefore it's always going to be considered a sin no matter what. Now this is going to lead us into the discussion of the things that destroyed the first Beis Hamikdash, and this is going to leave us with a very profound question on why it is that Sinas Chinam is tantamount to these three cardinal sins that are, by their very definition, no matter what angle you look at them from, they're always going to be considered a sin that you can never transgress. So stay tuned for more. All the best.